everyone. So I thought I'd do my own little vlog on the recent Confuzzled. Um, I just wanted to basically just go over my thoughts and what happened while I was there because it was, well, this CF was probably a lot more emotional for me than I was expecting in a good way. Um, just purely because of how much I actually got out of this CF over previous years. Now, for people who don't know, I've been doing Confuzzled now since pretty much day one. I was at the very first Confuzzled, all the way back in the years when it was at a youth hostel. And apart from 3 years where I stepped out of the fandom, I've pretty much gone to every single one inclusively. And I have to say, this was probably my favorite CF I've ever been to. Part of it might have been the theme, but after kind of coming back home and thinking this over, I'd have to say maybe the theme wasn't quite as influential as I thought it was as to why I liked this particular convention. Um, I think that the staff were a lot more clued in this year. There was everything was running pretty much on time, apart from a couple of things. But to be honest with you, the really large events always had delays through, technical issues, things like that. But all the panels were on time and were well organized. The ones I went to seemed to be very competently laid out, and we could stick to a schedule, which is unusual for a lot of conventions in general. Um, and I loved every minute of it. We got a better room this year as well. So last year we were all the way over one side of the hotel. This year we were right slap bang in the middle, which is great because it meant a lot easier for me to change in and out. But on a more personal level, and the reason I wanted to do this vlog, I think, was more the fact that this was my first year of being Theodore at any large convention. People who obviously know I've been Theodore now for around 6 months. And slowly as this character has taken me over, I have lost more and more and more of my older self, which I've had for 20 years, and now I am feeling a lot more bunny, as you can probably tell. I also got my badge of honor while I was at CF. I got my first plush card, which seems to be mandatory for all rabbits to have. So I'm very happy, and I wish I could remember the name of the lady who sold me this. I even put it out on Twitter because I can't remember her name. I will find you, and I will shout out because I love this card. I keep it with me most of the time. I love it. Yeah, so, I mean, even things like the dealer stand, I got everything I wanted. All the things I went there to try and find, I managed to find perfectly, reasonable price. Amazing. It's hard not to say that anything went wrong. Apart from one small time when I was waiting for a photo shoot in 2 hours in suit, and I nearly collapsed from heat exhaustion. But that was my fault, not theirs. It was the character I was portraying at the time. I wouldn't take my suit off for that particular character. People who know who I am will know what character that is, and they'll know why I don't take the head off. So that was kind of my own fault. That was self-inflicted. But I am hoping that next year, if I was to give any criticism at all, would be that the photo shoot queues and so forth go faster instead of spending so long on each suitor when there doesn't need to be. It does seem a little clicky sometimes. Um, Other things, I mean, like the shows. I haven't laughed so much in my life at any of the shows I've seen. Well, I know, I take that back. Sorry, I take that back. I did really enjoy last year's Wheel of Fox tune. This year, I think Jim Fox outdid himself. I unfortunately missed the first quarter of an hour of the show for good reasons, which I'll come to in a minute. But I did get a front row seat. I was very lucky to sneak somebody else's seat. I'm guessing they didn't want to stay, so they lost my game. Um, and so I got to see most of it up close. I again can't. I have to thank Jim Fox for it because they are such funny shows. There must be a lot of work that goes into those shows, and we are still still enjoying the memes from those shows. You know, Nando's gift card has become an amazing meme that just won't die, which I'm happy for because it's been a lot of fun. But no, one of my highlights of the entire con has to be Nightmare Live. Now, I know that was a sponsors only event, and I know a lot of people didn't obviously experience Nightmare Live. I come from an age group that grew up with Nightmare, and I know a lot of people there didn't, which is fine. You don't need to, but they got it. They got the campiness of the show. They got the they got the characters right. They got the audience right. They adapted themselves to us furries perfectly well. And I have never seen Rector laugh so hard for a very long time from when we were all shouting, "Give me an A" for the dragon bit. I just couldn't. It was just so funny. I just didn't know what to do. It was so funny. And yes, I was a little drunk. I don't get drunk. Tiny bit drunk. Tiny drunk rabbit. And I may have shouted "Bad Dragon" at one point and made everybody laugh, which became a bit of a meme. So I'm happy. And it was funny. Yeah, so I got a lot out of this year. I got to meet Dr. Natasha, who is an artist I've loved for years. In fact, was the first artist, furry artist I pretty much met online, apart from Eric Schwartz, who does Sabrina Online. These are the two influences that basically I saw all those years ago on a college computer and downloaded some naughty pictures that maybe I should have done onto a little floppy disk and took them home. And that was how I started through that kind of thing. So meeting her in reality and getting the picture with her was a dream come true. I get to meet one of the most influential suitors I've ever known, Yippee Coyote, who was always influential to me anyway. But since I've become a rabbit, even more so because of his Twilight character, and we got on, and I was happy. Two purple rabbits dancing away and talking, and he even came to the rabbit meet, which I was very happy with, that I mentioned to him, and he came. And that made me super happy just to get a group photo with everyone and him standing next to me. It was like being there with my idol. It was amazing. This brings me, I think, neatly to what I was trying to say about the things that really helped me during this con. I had a very emotional moment on the last day. And yeah, so the rabbit meet was held at the same time as Jim Fox's Wheel of Saturday Night Travesty. And I was torn between doing the rabbit meet or seeing the show, I decided to try and do both, but I really wanted to be there because of how much being a rabbit means to me nowadays. And I wanted to meet other rabbits. And it was a really lovely experience. I'm not going to lie. I have met suitors all the way through the convention who are rabbits, and I've tried to make friends with them. But there, I didn't realize just how many rabbits don't have suits and how many of them are so shy. Moko, shout out to Moko and Ed Ham for doing the rodents and rabbit meet. It was well organized. You did a fantastic job, guys. I hope that if you would let me, I'd like to help you next year, because I think you did a fantastic job helping people out and getting them calm, because there was a lot of nervous people there. I was very surprised again how nervous some of the rabbit furries are, but I get it. I do understand it. It's part of the culture of the animal to be shy, and I'd like to spend more time helping more rabbits get more confidence in themselves. I'm lucky because I'm older, and I've obviously had more experience being a fursuiter, being in fandom, and obviously I don't have that problem. And again, my character, Theodore, here is more brash, is more open, and is a lot more wisecracky, and a lot more kind of interactive with people. As you can tell, I don't, I talk, I speak, I don't just walk around. So, yeah, that was a lot of fun. Getting to know other rabbits was fantastic fun. I'm hoping that I can call a lot of them my friends soon, because you guys are awesome. And big shout out to the other rabbits and rodents who came to the meet. I really am starting to love this little subculture of the fandom. Just like my mate has raccoons, and just like my flatmate has birds, I am loving my little subculture of rabbits and rodents, because they are lovely people and I'm really enjoying it. So I did that, got a lovely group photo, and then ran off to go see Jim Fox's show in suit, boiling away at the front row. But it was all worth it, all worth every single penny. I got to meet some other lovely people as well, and yeah, big shout out to Blade Wolf for being a good friend. Thank you. I'm not food. No matter how many times you say it, I'm not food. Yeah, I don't know what else to say. Apart from the one thing that kind of happened to me on the last day. So, on my very last day, I stayed for the extra, along with my mate, and we were both really tired, and both needing to rest. But we pushed ourselves. We've never done a dead dog before. We pushed ourselves, and I just couldn't take it anymore. I wanted to carry on so much. So I went upstairs, and I put out my suit, and I looked at Theodore in the face, and sorry for getting a bit emotional, but I basically looked at Theodore, and I broke down. I don't normally do that. Most of my characters are dear to me. They're very personal to me. But this was just one of those moments where I just couldn't hold myself back. And I thank Theodore for being a part of my life, because I had to. Being Theodore has allowed me to be so much more open, so much more myself, and come at the fandom in a way that I didn't think I could do anymore. I was very cynical of the fandom for 3 whole years, and it's given me a fresh outlook on things and a new group of people that I love. thank you. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for making friends with a silly old rabbit that just wants to be friendly. But at the same time, thank you very much for saving me through all of this, because you've given me a new look on this fandom, and I'm really glad. And thank you to all the other rabbits. Thank you to all of my friends, and thank you, Confuzzled, and of course my mate as well, who has been, there for me through everything. Um, yeah, thank you, everyone. Um, I don't know what else to say really. Thank you, Confuzzled, and I look forward to seeing you guys next year. This is Theodore Rabbit. Um, Thank you, everyone, and goodbye.